Why are NBA players so afraid of shin injuries? Let's understand. Giannis, Wemby, Evan Mobley, Larry Nance Jr., Ousmane Dieng, Holiday, Ben Sheppard, Keegan Murray, Trent Jr., Jock Landale, and now also Austin Reaves. All of them read the Twins perfectly in just the first weeks of the NBA. On the face of it, calf injuries, calf strains are relatively mild injuries. But this year, something different happened in the league. They are keeping coaches, medical staffs, and management up at night. Let's understand why this happened. But first, let's understand exactly what this injury is. At the back of our calf, there are two main muscles that perform a similar function. The gastrocnemius, the twins, and the soleus, the sole muscle. And when we talk about a calf injury, we're usually referring to a tear in one of these two muscles. They are connected at the lower part to the Achilles tendon and are responsible for lifting the heel. So they work in almost every movement, especially in jumping, and that's why injuries to them are very common in basketball. This year in the NBA, after only 20 games, we've already seen 25 calf injuries compared to 18 last season, an increase of about 40%. And not only are there more injuries this year, they're also causing players to miss more time. Last year I analyzed in this video why there were so many Achilles injuries, and the answer is similar. Both the game load and especially the style of play. A lot more speed, running, and changes of direction that put extra strain on the muscles and the Achilles tendon. But the real question is, are there actually more injuries? Not necessarily. Because of that Achilles epidemic from last season, teams are much more cautious and protective of their players. Which means, in my opinion, that a lot of injuries that last season players played through, like grade 1 tears, where they simply asked the player to keep playing and maybe reduce their minutes a bit, this year are both being reported and causing players to miss games. And in practice, this leads to the reports we're seeing a 40% increase in injuries. But why are NBA teams taking such a conservative and cautious approach? First of all, an injury means absence, a period out that hurts the team's success and ticket sales. And secondly, as we mentioned, there's the Achilles epidemic from last season, even though the connection between them isn't clear-cut. Let me explain. Yes, Kevin Durant tore his Achilles tendon after returning too early from a calf injury, but that's not how research works. At present, there is no significant large-scale study proving that a calf muscle injury leads to an increased risk of an Achilles tear. But there are indirect statistical correlations that do show that a previous injury, especially tendinopathy, meaning recurring chronic injuries to the Achilles tendon, significantly increases the chances of an Achilles tendon tear. This means that although there is no clear causal link connecting calf injuries to Achilles tendon tears, there are logical biomechanical connections. In other words, when there is an injury to the muscle, it slightly changes the biomechanical loads on the tendon and puts it at some risk. So all these precautions and the connection between the injuries are not fully explained. By the way, regarding Austin Reaves, the Lakers made a mistake. He suffered a grade 1 calf strain and the Lakers brought him back to play too early. After he returned to play, he aggravated the tear and now it's a grade 2 tear. So instead of waiting another week for full recovery, now he'll be out for a month and a half. In short, yes, the league is afraid, but not of a calf tear, rather of more serious injuries that a calf strain can lead to. But more importantly, they're afraid of losing money. That's why this year teams tend to report minor injuries that in the past they would have just asked the player to play through and simply reduced his minutes. At the end of the day, as a physiotherapist and not a lawyer, this creates a positive situation where there is extra caution regarding players and their health. Good luck!